Hello guys. Today we're going to talk about. I actually saw this movie like quite a while ago, like over a year ago, and I can't believe I haven't done a video on this yet. It's the Lighthouse, the Robert Pattinson, William Dafoe movie. I mean, this movie. Oh my God, I watched this with Corey, and it's like it was an amazing movie. I can't believe I haven't talked about this yet. It's so mind-boggling. Let me do a quick check here while I just talk about general stuff. I mean, this movie is just like, oh, I mean, the biggest thing, and I'm gonna just keep in mind, I'm not gonna go into spoilers, of course, but it just, yeah, I don't think I covered it before. God. Um, okay, so a little bit about it. This movie was released in 2019. It's rated R. It's an hour 49 long. It's actually shorter than I remembered it being. It's weird. It has 7.5 out of 10 on IMDb with about 150,000-ish user votes. It has 83% on Metacritic. It's directed by Robert Eggers, who also did um, The Witch. Not the best. Brothers, was that? No, that was a different thing. So not some notable things, but to me, this is really like his first like big movie, in my opinion. Of course, it stars Robert Patterson and William Dafoe. Patterson, you would know for the Twilight films, but he's been in better stuff after that. William Dafoe, you know him from the Spider-Man movies and a bunch of stuff. On Rotten Tomatoes, let's see if it has both. It does not have both. So I guess definitely the critic audience thing that must have started like minimum 2020. And I don't think they're going back to old ones. I think they're just keeping with the new ones. So keep in mind going forward, that kind of feature might fluctuate from the film I review. It has 90 on Rotten Tomatoes. It has 90% by critics with about 300 critics ish, and it has 72% by audiences, about 1,000-ish user audiences. The critics' consensus is a gripping story, brilliantly filmed and led by a pair of powerhouse performances. The Lighthouse further establishes Robert Eggers as a filmmaker of exceptional talent. The movie is available to stream on Amazon Prime and Campy. So it's available to rent and buy on Amazon, Vudu, Apple TV, Google Play, YouTube, Microsoft Store, Redbox, and DirecTV. And it was released on DVD in January of 2020, January 7th of 2020. So, my God, what can I say about this movie? First of all, it's filmed verbatim like an old black and white movie. Even the frame, like it's even filmed like very full screen ish style, and it's probably one of the best films I've ever seen. Like film something in exact in the time period it take, because some films they try to like film something in a specific time period using like things to make it look like the movie was actually made in that time period, and the results vary. This film without a doubt is the most successful at it that I've ever seen. Like this film could have come out then and it would have been perfect. I mean, I think the only thing that seems like I don't think would fly back then is some of the dialogue and stuff some people may not give the pass for this film on, but I don't know. But in terms of like cinematography of film, it's like perfect. I mean, God, I don't know if there's anything like negative I can say about this film at all. I think the only thing I will say is that it will require second viewing. It is definitely one of those films where a lot of shit happens and you're just going through your head, all right, what does this mean? What is that? You know, basically the film's just a classic tale of cabin fever. You know, in a very, very like unadulterated nutshell. Just in a way that's the best way I can describe it without getting super in depth. And it's not even, I wouldn't even call it that in general, but it is definitely a cautionary tale about, you know, being isolated with, not even just by yourself, but with a person that it's weird when two people get by themselves sometimes it gets a little intense if it takes too long with one person without literally anyone, and it's kind of the case here, but it is like cinematography, it's like God, it's so much great what the fuckness in it. And there is some humor in it as well. Just some kind of like kind of like what? What kind of humor? It's just it's really interesting, and it's a great character study film too. It really kind of really gets in the psychology of mostly Patterson, but to a lot of extent William Dafoe's character as well, and plays a lot on Greek mythology and whatnot as well. But yeah, there's not a flaw in this film other than you might. The only it's not even a flaw. Even it's just it'll just come down to taste. Some people may movies like these that require a lot of thought and aren't exactly presented in exactly popcorn film fashion may not strike people. I mean, right away. I mean, and it could be proven wrong. I mean, some people like popcorn films for the most part, and then they see a film that's out of their wheelhouse and they love it, even if they usually hate those films for some reason. That specific film they see, they just love it, and it's hard to explain why. It's different for every person. So this film could be that for you, but yeah, this is definitely not a popcorn film, but it's definitely, I think the story itself, even if it takes some psychological like elaborate turns and a lot of like what the fuckery, it definitely has the feel of a classic story, a cautionary tale that most people I think are familiar with, but the way it's told and presented here kind of brings a lot more into it than I think a lot of people were really remember it could do. I think and yeah, that's there's not really a whole lot wrong with this. It's not. I don't know what else I can say about it other than just go watch The Lighthouse. I want to watch it again at some point. And God, I think what I also love about this movie, and it proves that because I feel like I think we're gonna get more back to it after the pandemic because of the movie industry shutting down a lot of the stuff. But I feel like we're gonna start seeing more films that aren't superhero films. I feel like I think we're still gonna have superhero movies and TV shows. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like we're gonna start to get back to more diverse films, and I think a lot of it is because I feel like the industry needed just a reset because it become very superhero heavy and a lot of the other genres were getting their voice, and now that they kind of got a little bit more voice back, and plus the super, let's face it, they kind of lost steam during the pandemic without a doubt. So I think they're gaining some steam, but not by like not a complete takeover, but I think we're going to start seeing more diverse stuff, and I think more people might pay attention to it just because they just want something good, and this is great. I will say, I mean, that's 72%. There's a reason why the difference between critics and audiences was different margin. It's because this is definitely a movie that not everyone's gonna get into, which is understandable. But it's worth at least one watch. And if you don't like it, then it's probably for the exact same reasons why people do love it. If you don't love it, yeah. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. It's a very solid film. I really like it a lot. I don't think it won Best Picture, but it could have, in my opinion. But I mean, it's a really solid film, and I definitely recommend checking it out for sure. Robert Patterson, I mean, he was in good movies after Twilight, but I think after this film, I feel like it kind of gave him that final push out of the Twilight saddle, like shadow quite a bit. I mean, there's always going to be people that are going to make jokes about him being in on Twilight, but but I think overall it's gonna. There's a freaking bug in here. But I think overall, I think he kind of emerged from it because he's a great actor without a doubt. I think he needs to. I think his only real thing left is I think he really needs to prove that he can succeed in. I think the only films. I think I think if for him to do a complete turn on, I think he needs to succeed in popcorn films because he's done great in non-popcorn films, but I think until he succeeds in popcorn films, it's going to be hard for him to kind of get over that Twilight hump. And hopefully the Batman movie he's going to be in, hopefully that does it, but we'll have to see. But yeah, overall, this is a great movie. I highly recommend checking it out. And yeah, guys, thanks for watching. In case you want to chat with me, Mike, or anyone else at the Campy Company, you don't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. The first one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in the About page / About section of our channel. We also have a discussion tab in our channel as well, and you can access that through a PC or laptop computer. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.